is just a vehicle, transporting your soul. It's what's inside of people.
It's beauty to behold.
They're not a evil.
Every day the flesh it grows, changes of the time takes the toll. And it was written
Where?
up in the book of life.
That we're going to choose to glow up and be the ultimate glow getter.
All
So
right,
it is there.
all
So
right,
it is there.
all right.
Now, what does that look like? To see each achievement you surpass, like climbing a step on the staircase to all of your dreams, your goals and desires. You may think the more steps you take, the more tired you'll become, but each step will also make you that much stronger. So just keep climbing.
Keep climbing, keep climbing. Every step that you take, you know, in truth, some of the times we get weary in well-doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, we get weary in the first, second, third. It's like in the gym, you know, you're doing 10 reps.
Mm-hmm.
The growth doesn't come in the first 7 reps, you know.
No, it's the last 3 where you struggle.
Yeah, is that struggle? Is that right before failure or that up to failure? That's where the growth happens.
100%.
And so all of the steps that you put in before, all of the reps that you put in before is just to get you to the point of struggle, which is why we have to change our relationship with struggle and failure, because that's where the lessons are learned and that's where the growth happens. Your motivational quote of the day, you cannot
Wait,
control.
that wasn't the motivational quote? Because I'm not going to lie. I was like,
yeah. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Let's get it. No, but your motivational quote of the day is, you cannot control the behavior of others, but you can always choose how you respond to it. That's Roy T. Bennett. The light in the heart. Teeks with the cheeks, good morning. How are you?
I'm working on the cheeks. I'm going to the gym. Leave me alone. Good morning.
No, we love them.
Love them.
Great morning, Yendi. Great morning, Dennis.
How are you?
Great morning.
And great
Teeks.
morning, Jamaica. Let's talk about the headlines. Let's jump right into it. That's, of course, just to find out from you guys. All is well on your end, yes?
Indeed.
Are you ready for the headlines? Because
We
I'm
are
ready for the
ready.
headlines.
We are ready.
Are we ready for the headlines? We're ready for the headlines. Let's do it. So, Security Ministry addresses plane landing. Of course, I'm sure we've all heard about this by now. The Security Ministry has moved to address initial security concerns surrounding a flight which landed in Jamaica on Thursday, May 2, 2024, carrying over 200 passengers after obtaining necessary permissions from the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority.
Yesterday morning on Twitter, sorry, X, the narrative was quite different, and it was, I mean, being trending towards a scandal and a crisis, as this. It seems as if everything needs to be a crisis and a scandal, or else some people don't feel good. But we need to be careful in terms of the narratives that we push. I didn't get the impression that there was anything, you know, that there was any diplomatic crisis going on. But sometimes the way we speak about things and the way we treat things on a national level can cause us to have problems with our international counterparts.
Yes.
And so I was looking at it from, I mean, what is the Indian High Commission or what is the German embassy saying about this? Because, you know, I would be making some phone calls in those circles. I could not imagine that a plane just randomly landed and just people just walked out into downtown Kingston.
I'm like, you can just randomly land here?
No.
That's
but
what I
then,
got the
to
impression.
the contrary, what was apparent after reading what came from the ministry was that, in fact, our security checks and balances are working.
Yes.
Because the manifesto was received, but there were 2 people who were not on the manifesto. And that is what flagged the whole situation in the first place.
D'accord?
Yeah.
Alors, pas encore. Nous allons jouer aussi un jeu de twister, mais pas pour l'instant. Not yet. Nous allons apprendre les couleurs.
We're going to start with the paper.
We're going to learn the colors first.
It sounded like papel.
Non, le papier.
Papier.
Ici, on close
like
it.
papier mâché.
Exactement. Exactement.
Listen, I am truly a beginner here.
Yeah,
So
no.
Dennis has the French experience.
He
I'm a
does.
beginner. So if I can do it, you guys can get in on this at home, right?
Exactement.
All right.
OK. Alors, nous allons commencer avec des papiers, des feuilles de papier, et nous allons commencer avec les premières couleurs. Ça, c'est la
First
couleur.
color. Premier
Exact. Et voilà. Ça, c'est la couleur vert.
Vert.
C'est le vert.
Similar to verde. Vert. Vert.
All right.
Vert.
Après, nous avons jaune.
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 Vert.
Vert. Parfait.
Jaune.
Parfait. Après, orange.
Orange.
Oh, that's really easy.
Exact.
Orange.
Orange.
Oh, le français, c'est très facile. Violet.
Violet.
Like violet.
Exact.
Violet.
Violet. Alors, nous avons...
Orange.
Parfait.
Violet.
Parfait.
Vert.
Alors, Dennis, tu vas commencer avec le pied gauche sur la couleur verte. Exact. OK. Yendi, pour toi, la main gauche. Non, main gauche.
Just kidding.
Alors, la main gauche sur la couleur jaune.
Jaune,
Jaune.
is yellow.
Exact.
Sorry, I'm a
Jaune.
little too excited.
OK, parfait. Denise, à ton tour. OK, ta main droite sur la couleur bleue. Il faut essayer de ne pas tomber. So the aim is to try. The aim is to try not to fall.
Right.
OK.
Yes, it nice boy.
Hear me from the voice in this IACT and you're watching Cooking with Love with Chef Simpson on CVMTV.
Man of life bring a vibes from the corner. Done with the crime and the drama.
Chef obtain. Chef Tien.
Chef Dean, stay tuned. Don't change that diet. Yeah? Can't put curry in a soup.
And the girls them a dance to the song, yeah. Phone ring.
Turn the camera away. Turn it again. It's beautiful.
Happy time.
The list. Love it. Oh my God. It's a one. Brother, you're not getting no.
Happy time. When the happy time, you know where to find. It's another day.
Initially, it was hard because every parent wants a normal, perfect child that society believes that we should have, but then you have to understand that that's not the game that everybody has to play.
Right.
So you decide how you're going to play that game. And for me, it was ensuring that early intervention was going to be what I focused on. And that is what made the journey easier.
Yeah, Stacey had mentioned early intervention, Rebecca. Let's talk a little bit about how important it is. The intervention is not just what happens at home, but what happens in schools and what's happening now in allowing the textbooks to become accessible. Let's walk through how important that is and the impact it has to include children with disabilities in the learning program.
Sure. So, well, I mean, the inclusion, it's all about inclusion. So the policy, the country's policy is really about trying to move towards mixed ability classrooms as much as possible. So the more that we can create resource materials that facilitate that, the better. So these books and the universal design format basically allow children with and without disabilities to learn in the same classroom from the same teacher. So you don't need to have another teacher, for the entire class. So you see images on the screen of Ari with his classmates looking at a tablet. So the books are accessible on any device, a phone, a tablet, a laptop, whatever. And they have sign language. So for Ari, when he was first reading these, it was the first time he'd seen a book in his language. So he's able to click on the little icon. When you go to the actual pages, you see a little icon with hands. And when you click on that, the sign language person pops up and you can sign language. And if you don't turn that on, what happens is you hear the audio and the words light up. Also, you have descriptions of the images on the page. So it's not just the words on the page that are spoken, it's also what the images look like on the page.
Do you know that my godfather was a teacher?
Okay.
Back in the day, we had veranda school, they've never named basic school.
Yeah.
And my godfather would collect me every morning before I could walk and would sit me at his desk while he taught. And I grew up believing that the book was the natural extension of your fingers.
Right.
And I cannot imagine my life without a book. You're looking at my handbag, me always have a book. If the plane late, if the traffic light on red, don't tell anybody that part. But if I have 2 minutes, I'm reading. It's a way to discover the world and discover yourself and enhance who you are or want to be. And then about the stories, I know that I brought a Nancy. Me and a Nancy going to read across Jamaica today, literally. But once upon a time is how we're living now. And how we're living now will become the once upon a time our great-great-grandchildren speak about. So we have a responsibility to give them something wonderful to talk about.
All right. Well, we definitely want you
Me
to
and a Nancy
get
now
into the reading.
going to read this book. Hello. We need to build a new nation.
All right.
And this book was written many, many years ago, and then you can guess. You can guess, you can guess, you can research. How many years ago this might have been? Shall I begin? We might not have a chance to read all of this story, but at the end, I will tell you where to get the book. Is that okay? Makeda was sitting on the veranda steps. It was her favorite place to sit and think. Sitting one step down, Makeda would rest her elbow on the next upper thread. She liked the pose. Can you do that pose? She liked the pose, yes. It made her feel special. Every evening, she would assume that pose and wait for her mother to return.
I dumb it down this way, and I say dumb it down to simplify it so we can all understand.
Yeah.
It's NET, that's the acronym, NET, NET, right? So I tell people we cast the net far and wide across the whole globe, and we bring in the resources for the education sector so that the students have what they need, the resources they need to thrive and to fulfill their potential. So I think that's easy for people to understand, that clear, simple concept. In essence, that's what we do.
Let's zero in on, for instance, it is Read Across Jamaica Day. It is a focus on literacy. What are some of the things that NET is doing specifically to provide support to improving literacy?
Well, as it stands right now, we bring the resources in. So I think we have mentioned some schools that are not doing very well with literacy and numeracy. And we have a drive right now to get support for those schools to help to elevate the literacy and the numeracy level for the students. That means programs that will help them to read, materials that are needed, a resource that are needed, integrating digital with the traditional ways of reading with your books like you've been doing this morning. And any kind of programs that we have seen in the past that have been successful in moving the dial in literacy, those are the kinds of things that we want to implement in the schools or just bring as additional support to especially those schools that are struggling in those areas.
The Oz Academy and Charter Foundation was established in August 2021. We are a registered educational and charitable organization. We have two arms to our organization. So there's the academy arm that exists to, of course, provide or offer courses to individuals. And there's also the charity arm, which exists to provide scholarships, grants, and school supplies to children across Jamaica who are in need of these supplies. And of course, what you find is that since we've been established, we have helped 1,470 students in 18 schools across Jamaica. Of course, much of this would not have been possible without our volunteers. We have 8 volunteers in our organization, myself being one of them, and we have been, seeking to do as much as we can to help children across.
Get ready! The best of
ever international meet to be staged in Jamaica. The inaugural Jamaica Athletics Invitational, a World Continental Tour Silver with a star-studded cast of international and local stars. Saturday, May 11, 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. at the National Stadium. Featuring the Olympic champion Hansel Parchment, former world champion Fred Curley, British record holder Zarnell Hughes, rising triple jump sensation Jaden Hibbert, Kyron McMaster, and Kristen Coleman, two-time world champion Danielle Williams, former world champion Dina Asher Smith, world record holder Toby Amusa, world championship medalist Shanika Ricketts, Marie Jose Talou, St. Lucian Hot Shot, Julian Alfred, Nia Ali, Rochelle Clayton, Kemba Nelson, plus a surprise entertainment package never seen before in Jamaica.
Jamaica's favorite drama, Your Guilty Pleasure.
All that having a baby now is going to do for you is make you a prisoner of this apartment.
Long run shot, kid.
Royal Palm Estate is on CVM every Tuesday and Sunday at 9 p.m.
Welcome back to Sunrise Destination Tuesday. You know we love it. It's all about discovering more gems for your travel chest. And this morning, we'll explore a few tips and tricks for making traveling a breeze with the little ones. We're joined this morning by travel enthusiast and owner of Happy Start Travel, Samoya Mattis. Welcome to the program, Samoya.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're good.
Actually, ironically, exhausted from traveling with my littles. So glad you asked, Samoya. So give me all the tips.
Exactly. So that's why I'm here, to make your life a little bit easier. One of the things when you're traveling with kids is that you have no control over them. They have their own minds. So one of the things I always advise people to do, especially when they're traveling with kids, is ensure, if you can afford it, get a seat closer to the front. So you get on the plane, you have more time to settle in, and you also get off the plane faster. Because they take a while to settle down.
Yes.
If you're picking a destination, pick somewhere that's close. An hour and a half, 2 hours, 5 hours max. Because once it goes over that, they start getting hungry. They start getting miserable. Are we there yet? How long is it going to take? And it's hard to control them when you're in that area.
Bring whole heap of snacks. Bring whole heap of different snacks. Snacks.
Absolutely.
And crayons.
Yes.
Crayons, coloring, entertainment.
You
need to keep them occupied. Because I remember I was on a flight with a lady once, and she could not figure it out. I said, I'll loan you my iPad until the plane lands. Because as soon as the child got the iPad and they could watch the movies, because the plane had the free Wi-Fi, it was all clear. Like even people on the other side were saying, thank you.
I can imagine. Before we move on from the flight itself, that is something that some of the times we put some unrealistic restrictions on the child, like not appreciating a picnic, and then like other people on the plane
getting frustrated,
and you shame and all sorts of stuff. You don't have to, just prepare for it.
I mean, once you understand the type of child you have, it's super easy for you to plan.
Well, why are we doing this? Let's see. Okay, so we're in the creative industry, and we're into providing experiences. I'm a mom. I was married for a very long time. I've received a lot of gifts on a lot of occasions. And I love flowers, and I know that they have the power to uplift your mood and everything. But I've always wondered, what if I could get a little treat with the flowers? You know what I mean? Just a little something. Even, chocolates, but something more than that. Something to indulge myself in self-care, which is very important. And so with that in mind, we put together My Pretty Lux Gifts, which is never just flowers. It's always flowers and
a little something.
I see. So that's what sets it apart from something else. Like, for me, the challenge is I'm going to give my wife something for Mother's Day, but I'm tired to give her the same basket. I'm tired to give the same basket. What makes these, what are you giving me that's different?
And that's why My Pretty Lux Gifts is here, because first of all, when we get a call from our customers, we get to know, okay, who are you giving the basket to? What do they like? Are they into active lifestyle? Are they into reading? Are they into, what exactly are they into? So we kind of get to learn about
who is it that we're gifting?
Right.
And so that makes it very customized, very personal, very individualistic. And then also self-care for us is a very big thing.
Yes,
It is.
And at any moment you can steal a little bit of joy for yourself. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be expensive. When we think self-care, we always think, oh, this big expense. No, it's the simplest things.
Can we just underscore that, please? Every mother who's watching right now wants that moment underscored.
Yes.
Self-care is important, and it's just the simple things.
It's just
underscore.
I mean, it can be a 5-minute shower with the most lovely smelling bathroom. You know, just the smallest things. Walking by, looking on a picture frame. You know, just the smallest things that can uplift your mood and get you away from that.
We at the JCDC are super delighted and excited to work with kids from all ages, from as young as 4 all the way up, you know, unearth their talent, develop them through training, performance arts, and of course showcase their talent to the world. So for us, we work through the schools. Our year kind of mirrors the school year. From September all the way back to the end of the year. We find them across our parishes, through our parish offices. We put them in competitions at the parish level, and then they get to the national level, which culminates in this month.
Construction by dreads. Ready, go! Jesus, are the real big man.
Bollywood has never been this good. Catch Made for Each Other weekdays at 12:30 p.m. on your drama station. Brought to you by
Hyundai. Look who we have in the cut. No, today episode I got nice. Legends, Senator, my longtime brethren, the great, all-star, the king, and the man himself. Salute! You know, as man, we're not too God specialists, and that's the pinnacle of the problem. We want some new era. Do what you love and you never work a day in your life. Lie! You work till a week. It was pandemonium. Country people can relate to me I talk about.
What you think about me no matter, you know. What matter to me is what me think about myself.
Man United, you know. I don't care what man wants to say.
You know, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, man. You finished?
Yes, we finished.
The Cut is brought to you by Flo and Guinness.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Woo, time flies when good things are happening. But you know what? It is time for the final thoughts. So I'm going to start with you, Dr. Mullins. Just tell us, what are your final thoughts about this topic? And, you know, if you want to give a tip or so, you can go right ahead and do that.
I would really like to encourage parents to think about time spent with your child. It's so important.
Yes.
When I was growing my child, she's 25 now, but when I was growing her, even though I had 2 jobs, I had to make sure, because I knew the importance of spending time. And the results that I'm getting now, I give God thanks because I spend time. Life is challenging. There's so much to do. But we do find time for other things.
Yes.
I believe a lot of parents are hooked on social media. They are so trapped, and they use that time to do what they want to do, and they do not take enough time to be with the child. I want to encourage every listener this morning. You may be a grandmother, you may be a mother, you may just be a caregiver. Yeah, but whatever you do, think about your child's future, how you want your child to be disciplined, what kind of behavior you want to see when the child is in school, because discipline really begins at home.
Correct.
Right? It begins at home. And remember what discipline is that we are teaching our children how to grow, how to develop self-control, how to develop patience, how to communicate. That's what discipline is, and not the whip and the stone and the everything else and the tongue. You know, we verbally abuse them too.
Lord.
Yeah, that's not discipline. Discipline brings good results, and so we want to encourage everyone hereafter. Look at the difference between punishment and discipline, and learn to discipline your children.
Woo! All right. Preach this morning, Dr.
Yes,
hallelujah.
Well, for me, again, relationships are built in time spent. And you get the results that you need from relationships where you spend the most time. You spend time with your boss at work, trying to get good results, or even just keep the job. So make time for your children. They need it. Even if when the boss fire you, you have to come home to the child.
It's the truth.
Oh my goodness, what a very riveting conversation this morning. What I will say is, I will say this to the community. Yes, mothers, I know I'm struggling, but let me talk to the people who you call friends. Look here, help her. Give her a chance. Take the picture sometime and make her get a chance to catch her brain, because it is hard. If she's trying to do everything by herself and she doesn't have you to support her, why are you friends anyway? Help her, and so she can spend time, Celine,
or help
with her children.
Help
Sunday is Mother's Day. I'm talking to mothers. Leave me with my final thoughts. That's a wrap for the round table this morning. Thank you so much to our guest, Dr. Pauline Mulling.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much to Celine with her big hair for joining us this morning. Remember, as you go on with the rest of your day, go forward into the world and be good and be on purpose. Take care. Walk good. See you next time.
So you beat them, so you mistreat them.